shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club, dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like
What's going on, fight fans? It's another great day when you love MMA. Welcome back to Mad Matty Fight Talk. Your host here, Mad Matty, once again with Crazy Chris. Got a special guest jumping on with us today, Steven Chang. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty damn good.
We got Steven Chang. He's a upcoming fight here at Cage Sports 63 May 7 out there in Canyonville, Oregon, out at Seven Feathers Casino. So if you're out there in the Eugene area, go ahead and support our man. He is fighting against a gentleman named David Rios, making his pro debut. Steven, tell us more about your training, brother. How's things been going for you on this upcoming journey?
Things are going good, man. I've been training out of American Top Team Portland under guidance of the great Fabiano Scherner, Professor Fabiano Scherner,
Awesome.
Coach Dylan Fussell, Ed Herman, and Hamza Salim, alongside with many top-notch fighters. Just name a few.
So
like
I saw
Climbers, Ricky Simone, Jerome, Kevin Bowen, Journey Newson, those guys. So yeah, feeling good.
Yes, I saw the fight card there. It looks like is it a 55 or featherweight?
It's a featherweight fight. I normally like to fight at 135 bantamweight, but this time we decided to go with a featherweight.
How has the cut been for you? Because I know you're 6'1". I know you're a very tall gentleman. So is it like going into modern day MMA, right? The big thing is it always better to go bigger, faster, stronger, or do you just fight at your natural weight, or is that really right around your natural weight?
It is definitely not my natural weight. I'm on one of those big cutters, actually. Some people believe that, just going there, natural weight is the best. I don't believe that. I feel like I have a huge advantage, not only in 35, but 45 as well, because my frame and my size and everything. And then, I think it reaches a big factor for me, in both things, striking and grappling. So I like to utilize that as much as possible.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that, dude. When I used to do a little bit of amateur fighting, and I'd have to cut all the way down to 155, which was not near how much I walk around like 190, but it made me feel a lot powerful, a lot more fast. So I could totally agree that you feel like you have the advantage for sure. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, Steven is 2-0 right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 2-0. The guy's face he's taking is stepping in there, making his pro debut. Now I believe he was only 1-0 as an amateur, and he had a first round armbar. So my question to you is, being 2-0, do you have any kind of like added extra pressure of trying to stay undefeated, or do you just feel like you have the upper hand with the experience that you have so far? Whereas this guy he hasn't even been in there longer than 2 minutes, I believe. So that's going to be a whole new world for him.
Okay, let's correct the record. He hasn't just fought once. He actually fought at least 10 times. He actually competed along the same amateur leagues I did back in like 2012, 2013. Last night, he at least had he was 8-2 as an amateur. He was actually a really solid dude. I consider him one of the phenoms coming up. Start competing MMA 16 under guidance of Enoch Wilson at Animals MMA. Which is, great coach, great gym, scrappy dudes. I fought one of the Animals MMA guy back in amateur days. I won, but it was 3-round war, against similar type of guy as him, And then, so yeah, he's actually experienced. I know he hasn't fought in the last few years, so I don't know how he's looking now. I'm expecting the best version of him. And there's no added pressure to me. Second part of the question, to answer the second part of the question. Long time ago, one of my original coaches taught me that pressure is self-imposed. You can't go to Home Depot, you can't go to Walmart to buy this pressure. You know what I mean? Whatever you say, whatever you do, I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching. It's a scrap. If this guy shows up in right in the middle of my living room, half naked, want to scrap at me, I'm gonna scrap. I don't care if anybody's watching. I'm gonna go out there and do my dance. I trust my team and the game plan, the strategy they came up with, and I'm gonna go out there and then try to execute it the best that I can. That's all I'll focus on.
So I have a quick question for you. I know that you used to train. I actually used to train with Steven back in the day at 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, a beautiful academy out here in Portland for no-gi grappling. So making that transition from 10th Planet to AT&T Portland, have you felt like made progressions? Like, have you felt like your wrestling's been getting better, your jiu-jitsu, or has it been kind of the same, just new partners?
I definitely feel the progression. Honestly, in this journey of mixed martial arts, if you not feel progression, then I think you should be hanging up your gloves. The game is changing radically, you know, day by day, month to month, it's changing a lot, and then the people who's failed to adopt the change, those get left behind. I don't really believe in the age factor or this factor. A lot of guys, these old big names, I don't want to name a specific name, but they're not doing well recently or whatever. It's not because they're not physically capable. They're just people study them and their techniques getting outdated because they're not updating their craft. And then to be fair, ATT Portland has, given me a lot of tools, and then I was coaching under the great Jason Navilli, the Northwest legend, in my eyes anyways. And he gave me a lot of a style. He gave me a lot of great skill set. But I saw all the things I've been taught under him gave me the great base to be where I'm at today. However, changes the scene and different partners and different coaches have access to him, and to a different facility, different management, all that stuff definitely has helped because I've seen many more styles, I've seen many more coaches, and then they genuinely care about me and my career, So I'm just humble every day by able to work alongside with these, great people.
You sound like you have a solid team behind you, man, and I think that's very important stepping in the ring, and it gives you a lot of confidence. Now, are you? I was just curious. I wonder about this about all fighters. I mean, are you the type of guy that you like to study your opponent and kind of know what you're expecting, or are you the kind of guy where you're like, I really don't care what this guy's bringing in there. I'm gonna execute my game plan, and we're gonna fight my fight. So I just wonder how you feel about that. What you think?
I definitely like to study my opponents, every sports, right? Every sports I play, of course they bring the film study, they do everything they can. If you watch baseball, football, they study all the plays and stuff like that, right? I think mixed martial arts is a little bit behind in that sense, there's a lot of old school coaches out there, It's not quite doing that, but, I think it'll come with time and, of course with the funding, and everything, and I think you'll come. But I'm a believer, and why not? I mean, if you got a footage, why not study, Unfortunately for my case, he hasn't fought, I believe over 4 years. So, he could be a whole new person. It could be, he could adopt a new stance, new style, new everything. So I'm not really looking at his move that he does necessary, but I look at the traits that, cannot be changed. For example, the personality. Like this guy, he likes to fight. He likes to scrap. He can tell, he's a traditional style Mexican fighter. He likes to come forward. He likes to bang, And I don't think you can take that away from him, even if, at 80 years old, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's always going to have that. He's always going to bring that, I believe. So I look at those things and then, kind of, expect and then draw a game plan, along my coaches, figure things out.
One of my big questions here is, I'm the type of person that personally believes I believe in ring rust, right? I believe if you didn't ride the bike, jumping on the bike, you can pedal the pedals, but going 6 miles is going to be a while, right? So for me, I'm a believer in that. What do you think? Do you think ring rust plays a big factor? Do you think taking a layoff from getting punched in the face and having that, that split second reactions, do you think that's going to play a factor? Because, you're in an extremely good gym. You would have extremely good training partners and really good coaches behind you. Obviously, Fabiano, Ed Herman, all those guys are absolutely animals. Ricky Simone, the list goes on and on out there at ATT Portland. Do you think that you have a slight advantage because you haven't had a layoff? You've been able to work through the COVID period, and he has had, to take a step in, the waiting situation. Do you think that ring rust is gonna play a big factor when he steps in there with you?
It's a possibility that it can play a factor, but I don't really think about it because honestly, I had a big layoff before too, twice. Until I made my pro debut, I had an almost 3-year layoff, not by choice, due to COVID, due to some management issues, before, with the previous management, So I was able to fight, for 3 years almost, and I came out my pro debut against a game tough opponent, and I felt just fine. I felt just at home, And I hear Dominic Cruz talk about this too, right? Ring rust is not real. So I think it depends on the person to person. Honestly, I think a lot of guys are, a lot of fighters can be sensitive and overanalyzing stuff, and I try to simplify best way that I can, if you can simulate fighting, if you spar in a certain way, and then that will help me, For example, my camp, there's a weeks that I spar, and then I know what time and when I'm showing up, but my coach wouldn't tell me who I'm sparring with. And I'm usually sparring 1 or 2 persons. So I'm showing up kind of like nervous energy, like who's going to be here today, you know what I mean?
Right.
Show up, you're the only person sparring. They put you in the cage, you know what I mean? Warm up and just put you right into the fight. No warm rounds or nothing, you know what I mean? And you do feel those, and you kind of get the butterflies out, and you get to work things out, So it really depends on your training. It depends on your environment, whatever. But I'm not counting on any of those things, I expect the best David Rios the world has ever seen to show up on May 7th, face me, and try to, smash my face in.
So big fight coming up. You're undefeated right now. In a perfect world, like in a perfect visualization, how do you see this fight playing out without giving us too much of your game plan? But like, what do you see happening against this guy?
Well, good thing about this fight, because it's personality and style, I think it's gonna be a entertaining fight. I don't always go for entertainment when it comes to fighting. Winning is number one thing, and being safe is number one thing actually. So being safe, winning, because it's not called self-offense, right? That's when I started martial arts, for self-defense. A lot of people forget about that, and of course I'm looking to capitalize any opportunity to finish the fight. The first most readily available option that comes up for me to finish the fight, I'll definitely want to take him. That being said, because I think he has no choice but to come forward and try to bang with me. And getting the scrap at least. Maybe he'll wrestle, whatever, but he's gonna try to get in my face and come at me. So that's gonna be almost guaranteed to be an exciting fight. So I'm just gonna go out there and do my art, see what happens.
I know that these guys out at Animal House, these guys are grinders. They're really good about taking the fight into deep waters. I'm sure you're prepared for that. But my question is, are you planning to put the hands on this guy, or do you plan on taking him down and kind of putting the grind on him? With again, I don't want, if you feel uncomfortable, don't give us too much here. But I know that you have some really good hands, and I know that you have a KO under your belt, in your last 2 fights. So are you planning on getting that, that next notch on your belt, or do you plan on this being a grind?
That really depends, I wish I know. Depends on how he wants to fight too, right? You know what I mean? When I'm longer striker, if I'm out there piecing him apart Anderson Silva style, and then what if he just runs? I'm just saying, I don't think it'll happen. What if he just runs, right? Runs away, whatever Caleb Starn style, whatever he was, the UFC style, running away, right? That guy, you know what I'm saying? And then am I gonna chase after him and try to go for finish? Or am I gonna keep it safe? You never know. You never know what I'm gonna take whatever's open, really. You know what I'm saying? If his punch is open, I'm gonna take the punch. If his knee's open, I'm gonna take the knee. If the takedown's open, I'm definitely gonna get a takedown.
Yeah,
it's a fight. Of course we have a plan, but things can happen. So I'm ready to fight whatever the fight goes, and I'm excited to go to 3 round. I'm excited to go 3 round. It's not gonna be ugly fight. I believe it could be dirty, it could be grindy fight, but I think I would do that trenches, and I can shine. I believe my skills will shine through. That's what I believe in. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. One day.
So just to get a little bit of a demographic on your background, let the people know, where are you from? Are you from Portland, Oregon? Where are you born and raised? Where are you coming out of?
Okay. So it's kind of a long story, but I was pretty much raised in Japan. I was actually born in the States, believe it or not, because my mom came here illegally for a second just to give birth to me, so I can have a birthright and a citizenship. Way back in 80s. Okay, so do not go after her, please, guys. This is different times. Okay. Anyways, so I grew up in Tokyo, Japan, for first 16, almost 17 years of my life. I went to LA for a few months, staying with my aunts. Went to Seattle for a few months, staying with my relatives, and then I came to Portland, Oregon when I was like 17, almost turning 18, and then finished high school here in Beaverton. I'm Japanese and Taiwanese. Hence my name Chang. It's not traditional Japanese name, but Taiwanese. And then I speak both Taiwanese and Japanese and a little bit of Mandarin. So yeah, that's my background. Just a nerdy skinny kid from Japan.
Coming from Japan, obviously, they have a huge MMA and martial arts history. As a child growing up in Japan, was that always your first instinct, or did you think maybe I'm going to be an electrician or a mechanic, or was it always I'm going to punch somebody in the face, man? That's what I love to do. How did that transpire? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
what got you into fighting? I'm so curious now.
Okay. So it's funny, right? I never ever imagined me becoming a fighter ever. Be honest with you. When I was second grade, dude, like one day everybody was talking about this guy, Andy Hoog in Satake. I was like, what is K1? K1. That's what they talk about all day. It's elementary school, second grade that day. I was like, what is this about? What is K1's about? This and that. He's like, oh, you gotta tune in tonight at 8 o'clock, blah blah blah, right? And I was like, okay, so. And I tuned into the TV and then watched the first K1 match, main event, with this Japanese guy, Kyokushin karate guy, versus another karate legend, rest in peace, Andy Hoog. Anyways, they're amazing fight. They had amazing fight. They both show huge heart. And then what got me was all the audience was even cheering the guy who lost because he gave all he got, And they were like pretty much put them on a pedestal. And to me, they look like Greek gods, you know what I mean? They were so jacked, so big, and just, insane. I'm just a little skinny freaking kid, from Tokyo, nerdy kid, who reads like to read books and ride bicycles and study a lot, you know what I mean? So I never thought I would do that, but I was always interested, And then later, way down the line, I saw highlights of Hickson Gracie on Sherdog and Eagle Vovchanchin, and my friend showed to me. I'm like, what is this stuff? This mixed martial arts. And I got excited, and I watched Sakuraba highlights, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing, So that at that moment, it became a kind of like a bucket list. Like, you know what? One day, I'm gonna have one fight, just one amateur fight. So 2013 November, I ended up having my first amateur fight in Vancouver, Washington, in a small gym, cold warehouse place called Fish Cups, you know what I mean? And it was really cold. And in November, you know what I mean? Not so much insulation, all that stuff. Anyway, and then I ended up knocking a guy out in a minute and a half, like flat out, you know what I mean? And then I had a adrenaline for like day and a half, man. Like you would not believe. I was just, feeling crazy good for a couple of days. And then you know what? I was like, I can do it again. Maybe I'll try one more time. And knock the second guy out in 2.5 minutes. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll try for the third, but maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I got lucky, whatever. So I was debating, and they were like, hey, you can fight for the amateur title, 35. You want to take it? I'm like, all right, I guess I'm fighting for the belt. So I ended up fighting that fight, winning it anyway, too. TKO'd him in third round. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I can fight. So I just continued on my journey after that.
Oh yeah, dude. I'd have to say that fighting at any level is just like, it's just a drug that unless you get to do it, you'll never know how good the adrenaline rush and just stepping in there, they close the cage, the refs looking on both sides, dude. It's crazy. It's just something you can't get over.
I have a quick question, real quick, just to roll off of that last question. So yeah. I guess my second part of that question. So now that you're fighting, now you're a pro, now you're on this journey, right? Is this more of the Steven Chang samurai journey? I'm lone soldier, lone wolf going out there trying to complete something, or do you just enjoy, naturally the camaraderie when it comes to teamwork and pushing your body and mental skills? You know what I mean? Is that something? What do you really enjoy? What is it Steven Chang's chasing?
Wow, that's some deep questions right there, man. Well, chasing, that's real deep questions. A real deep question, It's funny people ask that, right? Sometimes when you think about it, because things crazy. Pay's not great, especially for low level MMA. Risk is great, you know what I mean? It's dangerous, fuck, excuse my language, dangerous as hell, And then of course, you have all the team, this and that. They have your back, this and that. But you go out, you have to go in there yourself, So who am I doing it for? I definitely would say I'm doing it for me. You know what I mean? This is not something my family wish that I do. It's not something my teammates, anybody can force me to do. I do it because I freaking love it, man. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do it for any other reason. And then one thing I don't understand, a lot of these guys, fighters, they were like stressing about the fight. They were like, really stressing backstage, really stressing training all throughout the camp and everything. You know what I mean? And we're like, dude, like, why are you doing this if you don't like it? It doesn't make any sense to me. There's so much more easy way to live and, to make money than to do this, If you don't love it, don't do it. I mean, I feel that way when I was amateur before too. I was like, I got all this pressure built up and I got to perform well for this person, that person. You know what? Like, end of the day, I'm going to go out there and do me. And then if you not going to like me anymore because I lose, or if you don't want to support me anymore, if I lose a few fans or whatever, I don't care. You know, I'm not doing it for them anyway, and they're not my real fans or family anyway. So I'm gonna go out there and then try to be the best version of me. And right now, I feel like I'm improving at such a rapid rate, honestly, that I just cannot wait to show my skill set on display, to show that what's possible. To start training late and not through my childhood like most of these people are, not super athlete like some of those people I train with, or competing, and to show them it's possible through using your brain and what I mean.
Yeah.
Still style and still be entertaining, and what I mean. And then I have goals in my head, and I'm gonna try to achieve my dream. That makes any sense. I have a dream of MMA, and achieve it.
Yeah, I got a question rolling off of that.
Yeah.
So obviously everybody's goal is to get on the biggest platform possible. Once you get on a level of fighting, you want to get the respect that's due, right? And obviously pay is a big issue too, because it's a high risk, high reward. So if you could put yourself in an organization, where would you like to end up? Like the UFC, Bellator, PFL, or is it just whatever one wants you? What thought process do you have about that kind of stuff?
Of course, I grew up in Japan, so I like defining Rising or Raijin, that's what I call it. If it's possible, I grew up watching Pride, so that would be one of the bucket lists for sure. Of course, UFC, PFL, Bellator, all great. ONE FC is great, a promotion to get into, but my goal is not about all that. Honestly, my goal is to sharpen my skills, and then to able to get the biggest, toughest opponent I can, and win. And it's challenge myself. Those are the biggest goal. And of course, those biggest, baddest guys is in the biggest organization. So, naturally, that's the fight I'll be looking for, And I'm not a full, so I know I'm not quite ready to fight anyone, anytime, that level yet. But I also do see like high level competitors in my gym, and, people who come through my gym, whatever. So I know exactly where I'm at. And then I believe I can get there. And I can believe I get there and fight them, be competitive.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Basically, I guess my question is, how do you feel about the judging? Because obviously we as MMA people and fans have been getting absolutely fucking destroyed when it comes to the judging situation. Do we need 5 judges? Do we need a curriculum on judging that is just more clearly? And my question is, so they're doing this in one, right, where they have open scorecards, which means in between rounds, they're showing who's winning the fight.
They need to do that more.
Is that something? Well, my question to Steven is, what is your opinion? How do you feel? What can we do that would impact? Because honestly, you're a pro, right? You're coming up. You're on a winning streak, obviously undefeated. I mean, shit, this is your future, brother. You know what I mean? So what can we do to secure, these stupid draws or these stupid these split decision wins that shouldn't even be out there, because obviously some of these fights are really close, but the fights that are just like, what the fuck, what can we do to help the scorecards?
Definitely open scoring. It's not an easy solution for anywhere else to say. Of course, there's a way to fix that. It takes somebody more smarter than me to come up with a solution. More people is definitely not the answer. More training for the judges, I see that as a part of the solution, and also open scoring. They did an open scoring in Invicta shows, which with some girl that corner before, and then it's very helpful to know who's up and who's down, and you kind of see that what's actually going on in the judge's mind, so to say. So that way you can change the strategy if you need to go for broke or whatnot,
Yeah.
Rather than left in the dark, like, oh yeah, just you got on top for 4 minutes straight, so you must.
Yeah, I would imagine in like a 3-round fight, or like a 5-round, whatever, 3 or 5-round fight, and it's close. You won the first, you might have lost the second, you don't know, right? I would imagine going into the 3rd round, and you're getting paid, your win money here. You would want to know who's up or who's down, or if it's a tie. That way, it's gonna push you to that next level, right?
Yeah. Definitely. I know you're supposed to try to win every round or whatever, but then again, what if you're fighting somebody who's a super KO artist? And you winning rounds 2-1? Are you gonna like risk everything, go for broke, try to win the 3rd round, or you're gonna keep it safe and try to engage less, a little bit less than normal in the first 2 rounds, let's just say, So that. It's definitely a sensitive subject, but open scoring, I don't see why they can't do it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense not to do it. It's not like a judge can go back and change the scoring anyway after the round's over. It's they write it down, it's over. So they let us know right away. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then also to touch on that, if I don't know if you know, but Pride and the Rising and stuff, they judge as a whole fight, not round by round, which is interesting in scoring too. I can't say which is better, round by round or as a whole fight, but it's something should be debated more.
I kind of like that.
Absolutely.
I kind of like the whole fight as a whole, because then so just because you do good in the first doesn't mean you do good in the end. And I kind of like that style of judging as well. I mean, it would be interesting to see if the bigger organizations would try and mix it up to see how it would be worked out on a big stage. But yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, less gamesmanship when you judges by the whole fight, because otherwise, end of the first round is close to being tied. You can only just secure the takedown, just hold on for a second. You know what I mean? In the big scale thing, it doesn't matter, but because he did that, he might have won the first round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like the judge in the whole fight as well. You know what I mean? Because how the real momentum of the fight shifting. Who had the biggest moment? You know what I mean? You can see that. So yeah, I agree with you.
So wrapping this up, so thank you so much for jumping on here. I'm gonna ask one more question before we go ahead and give you the rest of the night off, sir. But
Okay.
As you come along, and obviously you weren't a young kid watching the game. You grew up you grew up learning it, right? You grew up kind of learning the game and jumping it into a later age. Who is Steven Chang's 3 heroes? Who's his MMA heroes? Who's his fighting kings?
Ooh.
3, huh?
I can't do one because one's impossible. But
yeah, top 3 favorite fighters. Yeah.
Favorite fighters, or like I have a connection with, or just
that influenced you, that you watched and you said, "Damn, I'm gonna fight because this guy made me believe I can get in there and do it."
Okay.
For me personally, it's Anderson Silva, Dominic Cruz, and Uriah Faber, because I grew up watching those guys from when I was a kid, and those guys gave me the belief, power, and I'm like, damn, this skinny guy can go out there and knock people out. And Uriah Faber and Dominic Cruz were in WEC, and I'm short and small guy, so I was like, damn, if these guys can get in there and do it, so can I. So those are the kind of the guys that influenced me to get into the sport. The Jose Aldo's. Who's Steven Chang's top 3?
Okay. I can see that. Number 1 is probably Sakuraba.
Okay.
Sakuraba is definitely a legend with the Gracie Hunter himself.
Absolutely.
Watching him, probably made me want to like actually compete MMA at least once. So I gotta give him that one. And of course, my former coach, my brother Jason Lavelli, because I see him, train day in and day out when he was amateur and climbing ranks all the way up to UFC at late age too. And then that was inspiring. Like I said, he's a legend in my eyes, and he definitely gave me the what I needed to keep going. Number 3, huh? So many of them. Probably Nogueira. Let's just say Nogueira. I love watching Nogueira fight when I was before he must start fighting. He showed so much heart, especially in Pride days, and gave us so many great fights. And that showed to me like a samurai spirit. What this is all about. Sometimes it's outgunned, but it's not over till it's over. You know what I mean?
I like your top 3. Yeah, that's some
Absolutely.
solid.
Awesome. So Steven Chang, again, guys, out there in Seven Feathers Casino, May 7th, taking on our guy David Rios versus Steven Chang. Don't be late. Be there on time. Do you have anybody? Go ahead and shout out anybody that you need to, brother.
Okay, of course, I like to shout out first and foremost my gym, American Top Team Portland, my management, Real Deal Sports Management, my sponsors, Lightspeed Payment Solutions, Asgard 503, We Farms, Hard and Hustle Jiu-Jitsu, Chet Mill PDX. Yeah.
Do you still have tickets available for these guys, or is that gone?
Tonight, I'm actually they actually tickets are flying out supposedly. So whatever I have left,
that's good.
if I have any left, I'm supposed to return by tomorrow, which I don't have any left. But if they do, if they're watching this tonight, they can DM me tonight.
Yeah, awesome. I'm gonna throw Steven Chang's Instagram down in the description below, guys. Throw some highlights, whatever I can find, some old fights possibly. But yeah, man, me and Chris, we appreciate you jumping on here, man, and I wish you the best of luck. And
thank you, sir.
I know you're gonna come out with the victory, man. You're top notch
luck
dude.
For fucking losers, brother. Go out there. We know you're gonna go ahead and get the W. Guys, again, May 7th, Seven Feathers Casino. Don't be late. Go out there and support our local fighters. We appreciate you, Steven.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Thank
Yep.
You.
This video is sponsored by Lightspeed Payments, processing made easy.
For all business owners, head over to lightspeed-payments.com and get a free quote today. Use promo code MADMATTY for 20% off. That's lightspeed-payments.com.
Haters talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an